So we're learning how to be the expert in your field, to be the leader of your audience. And the next thing I want to talk about is what I call brand versus persona. Basically, your brand is who you are to the core, who you are deep inside, to the metaphysical level, to the spiritual level, to the soul level. And then the persona is really the facade, the what you share, the part of you that you let people see. If the persona and the brand don't mesh enough, then what happens is you end up looking fake and plastic and surface. And you know what the entrepreneurs look like in that world, right? They're the ones who are trying to create this facade for themselves that really doesn't jive with the energy that they're putting out. They're the ones standing in front of the Lamborghinis, flashing the $100 bills, hoping everybody will think that they've established that I gotta present this Tai Lopez look to the world. And to me, that's just BS. It's not real. Nobody can maintain that. And that's not really anybody to the core. That's not really what anybody's spirit is about. But if you do too much and you just open up everything and you're just like exposing yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, then you fall off your pedestal. And you, as a leader, as an expert, you need to be on a pedestal a little bit. You don't want to be on the pedestal so high that your status is unreachable. But you also don't want to be so low in the masses that it doesn't seem like it's any big deal to get to where you are. Who cares? What do I need you for? I'm already down here with you. So let's start with what a brand is. And if you're really interested in branding, the first two mini courses of this series are all about branding, about creating your vision, about creating your mission and projecting your brand forward and amassing the people around you through branding. A brand is what people think of you. When other people look at you or hear your name or see you go by or see your posts on Facebook, they get a thought in their head, and not just the one specific thought about that specific post or something like that, but they sort of have an overall feeling, a general feeling that they get about you, whether it's good or bad, whether it's warm and fuzzy, or whether they just get happy to see you, or whether they're just like, ugh, that person. That's your brand. That's your brand to that one particular person's mind. Now, everybody could have a different feeling, a different thought, but in general, the masses will sort of lean one way or the other. Most people will start to agree on a general idea of what your brand is, based on everything you've been doing so far. You know, what you believe about yourself, what you're projecting outward, what you're sharing, whether it's valuable or not, whether it's generous or not. So their perception of you, it stems from the interactions that they've had with you, it stems from any business exchanges that they've had with you, and it also extends from your video content. Everything that you're sharing out there and they're watching, if they're going, wow, I learned something from this, that elevates your brand. If they watch it and be like, this guy's just trading garbage, then that's going to devalue your brand. So that's what people think. But on the flip side, there's also what you think about yourself. So you can sort of mold what people think about you based on the vision you have for yourself. You have this vision for yourself. You have this vision, this path that you're trying to get on for your business and your life. And your job is to create content and create exchanges and relationships with the people in your audience that fit into that vision, and then they'll see that vision too. So that's the brand. That's the feeling that you have for yourself, and it's the feeling that other people have about you. Now, the one that you have for yourself is really the most important, because everybody's idea of you is based on everything that happened up to today. Up to right now, that's your brand. But your brand, your feeling for yourself, is everything from right now to the future. And that's what you really should be caring about. Even if you didn't have the best videos, even if you made some mistakes and screwed people over by accident or something like that, you can always fix those things by repositioning your vision and projecting it more and saying, you know what, I'm going to focus on what I feel about myself rather than worrying about what I think they think of me. What they think of me is all based on stuff in the past, but what I see for myself is based on the future, and that's where we're all going anyway. Nobody's going to the past. We're all going to the future. Focus on that. Project that outward. Whatever the words are for you. I am strong. I am confident. I am a leader. I am I have value to share, and I am an expert in this field, and I know that I can help people accomplish this and then get this problem solved and feel this way in their lives or accomplish this with their business. You know that about yourself. So whatever that is, that's your brand, and now it's your turn to sort of project that out there. And the way that you project it out there is through your persona, because now you got to pick the pieces that you're going to make visible, and you have to decide which are the pieces that are for myself, which are the pieces that are private to me. So you definitely want to be talking about what your expertise is and then sharing knowledge. People like to call them truth bombs and things like that, right? So you want to be sharing knowledge so that everybody knows, yeah, that one's smart when it comes to this stuff. Or when people have a question, hey, how do you do blah, 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 blah? And you're going to see people saying, oh, you should ask so-and-so because they're the expert in this. And when you're doing this correctly, you'll notice that happening more and more often. I say this all the time, and I'll say it again now. I really believe that this has to stem from your passion. It has to stem from things that you love to do, because if it's not going to be authentic and it's not going to be sustainable. You want this to be authentic. You want it to just flow naturally from you, because the more it flows from you, the more attractive that is to other people. If you have to work really hard at this because this isn't your natural talent, or it isn't your natural love or passion, or something that you really care deeply about, it's going to show very quickly that you're not being authentic. You're not really generating something from your heart and soul and sharing your core genius with anybody. And nobody's going to be attracted to that, because we're all looking for that, you know what, your core genius is this, and I need to understand that, and I want to learn that from you. And this one's core genius is this, and I want to understand that, and I want to learn that from them. And this one is pretending to know about such and such, and there's just something off. Maybe you know they're wrong. Maybe they're just completely wrong. That would be an easy indicator, right? But maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's something like, I don't know, their energy just feels off, or I don't like the way they go about it, or I don't like their approach to it, or there's too much desperation, or there's too much aggression. And in those cases, then, you can kind of tell that that's not really something that jives with you. So I'm talking here about the persona, right? So you have your brand, and that's, now we're defining the brand for the purpose of this video as that vision that you have for yourself, that you are trying to project out, that future vision of where you're trying to go with your life and business, and where you want to bring your audience along for the ride. Now, the way you present that is through your persona, the facade that you're showing. And if you want it to be authentic, you want to show a little bit of vulnerability so that it humanizes you. But you don't want to show too much, because like I said earlier, you don't want to just completely lower that pedestal down to the basement level, because then everyone's going to be looking down at you like, dude, you're just a loser. I don't think I can learn anything from you. I don't want to take the path you're on. That looks like a lot of hard work and struggle and strife. I don't want that. So there's a fine line of the vulnerability. You want to be approachable and humanized, but you also don't want to be, a loser.